Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Raw Thoughts. I'm your guy, John Fisher, on location. That location is my bedroom, because I can't get out of my house, because it's snowing, and I drive a car. If only I had a semi-truck that Braun could lift up for me and just throw me to where I needed to go, which was Josh's house. But I'm here at my house, and let's talk about Monday Night Raw and my Fab 5, which is a bit destructive this week, and it'll all make sense. Getting to number 5. Number 5 is more of a somber note, and one that has really flew under the radar a little bit on television for the past week, and that is Paige, who hasn't wrestled in several weeks due to an injury she sustained at a house show a couple of weeks ago. It was a house match, a tag actually, and Paige was drop-kicked as she was turned, so Sasha got her in the back. She has what looked like severe whiplash, and now she's out indefinitely. And if you all saw the rumors come out, she may be done in WWE, only being 25 years old. We saw her support Sonya Deville as she was victorious in her match against Sasha Banks. This one, I just want to say I hope Paige is okay. I hope she can wrestle. They already ruled her out of the Royal Rumble match, the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, which is awful since her, being the one night only winning the Divas Championship on her first night on the main roster, the first ever NXT Women's Championship that she won several years ago. So we just hope that she's okay, and let's kind of kick up the volume here. Let's get much more happy to number 4. Let's stick to the women and for number 4, and that is Nia Jax and Asuka. I was against the match from the beginning. Simply put, you don't need to have Asuka beating these title contenders, including the champion, mind you, Alexa Bliss, who she beat over a week ago, in consecutive weeks. And not only that, right before the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. I didn't make sense of it until the end. I loved the angle. I really enjoyed the worked injury, because Nia is not injured, as far as we know, legitimately. I thought it was done brilliantly. There was not a loser in the match. Asuka is still undefeated. She has not lost. But that doesn't mean Nia gets a loss on her record, like wins and losses mean anything. But it doesn't make her look weak, especially when we can kind of see where it's going. It's foreshadowing. Alexa Bliss doesn't want her in the Royal Rumble match. She doesn't want Nia to win. She doesn't want to have to face Nia Jax, her best friend. We're going to see where it goes, and I'm loving where it's going. With Enzo Amore now in the picture, those two are trying to help her in the back. She seemed jealous, and Enzo seemed to be okay with really anything, because he's trying to be there for his girlfriend. And by the way, when are they going to kiss? Josh, if you can give me an answer whenever you edit this for me, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and all of your thoughts at home. When's that moment going to be, and will it cost Nia a championship? Elias does not get the 3rd spot in my Fab 5 this week, and even though the WWE still stands for Walk with Elias. Never ever forget that. This week, Kurt Angle stole it.
Braun Strowman is coming, he's headed this way!
As soon as we found out that Braun Strowman was going into the production trucks,
Braun's headed for the television production trucks.
Kurt, I think, forgot his lines and said,
"Come on." Oh God, they're worth $12 million.
That's really all. It made my week. It made my week. Number 2 is as star-studded as the 2 in 25, as in the 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. Throughout the beginning of, I think it was the first hour of the show, they were able to tell us who was going to be at next week's Raw 25 show. Star-studded and amazing. Just to go through some of the women for a little bit. So Tori Wilson will be there. We have not seen her in WWE programming in, I think has it been a decade already? It might have been at least 10 years. Michelle McCool will be there, who's married to The Undertaker. We'll get to him in just about 30 seconds. Maria Kanellis, who right now is pregnant, who made her return to the WWE last year with her husband Mike Bennett. They're going through some personal things right now, along with a baby on the way, so they'll be back to the ring soon. You have Kelly, the Bellas. Jacqueline is coming back, and those are just some of the women that are going to be returning. As for the men, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, the New Age Outlaws, the APA, and even though JBL really hasn't left all that long ago, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, There's one name that they didn't say, it was The Rock, and as far as we know, he's not making a movie right now. So The Rock could be a surprise entrant as well. To return, we're going to have John Cena. We're going to have everybody coming back for the live show, which is going to be at 2 locations. The Manhattan Center, where the very first episode of Raw took place. That will be where Jim Ross and, Jerry the King Lawler, who my podcast co-host doesn't seem too fond of, they will be calling the action, because we saw Michael Cole get his butt kicked, literally, and then thrown 10 feet on this episode of Raw. But either way, the Raw 25 show is going to be spectacular, and I hope it lives up to what it is producing. We're going to have to see a big moment. We're going to see the Miz fight for the Intercontinental title. That's going to be spectacular. They have to do something great, kind of like Raw 1000 when CM Punk turned heel and kicked the crap out of The Rock and set up that whole feud, which is one of the better feuds that CM Punk did not win, perhaps in WWE history. It's going to be an amazing night, but will it top what my number 1 is? There's only one man that can lift a semi-truck. There's only one man that can pull down an entire set of scaffolding. And there's only one man that can steal the number 1 spot this week. And if he didn't even have to steal it, he could have just grabbed it for himself, because he's bigger than me. That is Braun Strowman. Oh my God. What an amazing night for what we have heard is the Monster Among Men. We're going to wait to confirm that with one of our producers, Derek. I don't know if that's his nickname, but if it's not, it should be. It really should be, especially after the showcase that he had. From throwing backstage personnel around, to going in the production truck, to destroying Kurt Angle's office, and not only that, the crowd loved it. He's the man. He is the new guy. He is what Roman Reigns should have done. He is getting the pop that Roman Reigns should be getting. I don't think Vince McMahon knew exactly what he was getting when he booked this segment. He's not a heel anymore. He is a babyface, but not only that, the impact that he has made is terrific. It really is, for a guy who 2 years ago told us, if you remember this promo, kudos, that he once grabbed a snake and ate it during a Bray Wyatt family promo on Monday Night Raw. Fast forward 2 or 3 years, he is the best act in pro wrestling right now. It's not going to change anytime soon either. It's not, because Braun is going to get the belt eventually. If he beats Roman Reigns, he'll be the biggest face of all time. And not only that, they have gold. They struck gold in something that they made organically. It took a long time, but it happened. And I think that as soon as we find out what the penultimate moment is for Braun Strowman, we're going to know. I don't think it was 2 weeks ago with the grappling hook. I don't even think it was this past week, 2 days ago. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so yesterday. I don't think it was yesterday. I think something else is going to happen that's going to be bigger. And from the firing of Braun Strowman to his reaction to getting what he wanted, cheered and walked the heck out after throwing Michael Cole several feet in the air onto 16 other guys. That was the best moment of Raw, and something that I didn't think that they had the balls to do. Easily the number 1 spot on my Fab 5 for this week. And moving on to Fix It, here's what I want. The crowd, and this is what I wrote on my notes actually, I'll read it out loud to you. And the crowd goes mild for Woken Matt Hardy.
Deletion!
It's not working. This isn't working, and I don't know if there's a way to fix it. They spent too long hyping up Woken Matt in backstage promos. They spent way too long having him laugh at Bray Wyatt. And meanwhile, Bray wasn't even on the show. And they're feuding. I thought they were going to be feuding for quite a while. Maybe for a big WrestleMania match that's weird, or like at the Hardy compound or the Wyatt compound or something, leading up to Jeff Hardy's big return. Brother Nero comes in. They're back to the old games that they did in Impact Wrestling. We didn't see that. This is a failure so far. I don't see it. The crowd, until they hear the word delete, the crowd's dead. No one laughs anymore like Matt Hardy does. That lasted 24 hours, and that meme has been long gone. You gotta fix it or get rid of it. And Matt Hardy is not to blame. You know who's to blame, and I don't have to say who. But anywho, this is a weird Fab Five. It really is. I miss Josh. I miss Derek, and I miss the Thoughts from the Bench Studios. It's just weird. You can see my shutters and my bed. I wish, and where the lights, I'm not red anymore. I'm simply just me. Oh well. We have so much more content coming from the Thoughts from the Bench crew, with the debut of Anastasia last week in the NXT recap, to Derek's picks that are wrong most of the time, to the indie darling who has somehow captured the love of many fans out there in the independent wrestling scene, and then my own EP Josh with his SmackDown Live recap. That'll be coming up in the next couple of days. You can follow us now on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can get us anywhere you want. My podcast, Backstage in WWE with Brad Shepard and myself, John Fisher, is now live on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can go check that out too. And we're making ever-changing improvements to our website, thoughtsfromthebench.com. So from everyone here at the Thoughts from the Bench crew on location, by myself, I'm John Fisher, and we'll see you next week.